The Stranger's Gift. It was a cold winter evening when Aisha stepped out of her bookstore. The streets were nearly empty, with only a few people rushing home. As she walked towards her car, she noticed an old man sitting on a bench under a flickering streetlight. He was dressed in ragged clothes, his hands trembling from the cold. Something about him caught her attention. Maybe it was the sadness in his eyes or the way he clutched an old leather bag like it was his only treasure. Feeling an unusual pull, Aisha hesitated, then walked up to him. "Sir, are you okay?" she asked gently. The man looked up, his face wrinkled with age but his eyes sharp and knowing. "I am waiting," he said simply. "For what?" "For someone who still believes in kindness." His words sent a strange shiver down her spine. She took off her scarf and handed it to him. "Here, take this. It's freezing tonight." The man smiled, a rare, warm smile that made him look much younger. "Thank you, child. But I have something for you instead." He reached into his bag and pulled out an old, dust-covered book. "Take this. It will change your life." Aisha hesitated. "I own a bookstore. I have plenty of books." The man chuckled. "Not like this one." Curious, she took the book. The cover was made of ancient leather, with golden letters that had faded with time. There was no title, no author's name. When she looked up to thank him, the old man was gone. The bench was empty, as if he had never been there. A strange uneasiness filled her heart, but she clutched the book tightly and drove home. That night, as she opened the book, something unbelievable happened. The letters inside began rearranging themselves, forming words she had never seen before. A soft whisper echoed in her room. "This is not just a book. It is a journey." As Aisha read the first page, she felt herself being pulled into the story, literally. One moment, she was in her bedroom, the next, she was standing in a vast library with endless rows of books floating midair. A deep voice echoed around her, "Welcome to the library of the forgotten souls." A hooded figure stepped forward. "You have been chosen. Every book here contains a life that was never lived, a story that was never told. You must read them, for only then will their stories find peace." Aisha's heart pounded. "What happens if I don't?" The figure's voice turned grave. "Then they will remain trapped forever." With each book she read, Aisha felt emotions she had never known. A soldier who never returned home. A poet whose words were never heard. A scientist who died before his greatest invention. Days, or maybe weeks, passed, time had no meaning in the library. The more she read, the more she understood. Every life deserved to be remembered. Finally, she came across a book with her own name on it. Trembling, she opened it. The pages were blank. The hooded figure appeared again. "Your story is still being written. The choices you make will fill these pages." Aisha realized the truth: the book was never about others. It was about her own life, her own path. She had spent years playing it safe, never taking risks, never truly living. But now, she knew better. With a deep breath, she closed the book, and in an instant, she was back in her room. The mysterious book was gone. The next morning, Aisha walked into her bookstore with a new purpose. She started a section called The Unwritten Stories, a place for people to write their own dreams, their own tales. She no longer feared the unknown. She embraced it. And somewhere, in a forgotten corner of the universe, the old man smiled. Moral of the story: 1. Every life has a story worth telling. 2. Fear of the unknown keeps us from truly living. 3. The past may be written, but the future is in our hands. 4. Sometimes, the greatest adventures begin with a single book. If you enjoyed this story, comment your thoughts below. Like, share, and subscribe.